Okay, so picture this.
John Lovett.
Oh.
You know John Lovett, right?
Yeah.
The Pod Save America guy, the political commentary guy.
Right.
He signs up for a show.
Where he could be humiliated on national television.
Oh, wow.
He went on Survivor.
Really?
Survivor.
Wow.
And we are diving into this Daily Beast article about his experience on Survivor.
Yeah, this is a really interesting one.
And trust me.
There's more to this than just reality TV drama.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of surprising to think.
You know, we're so used to hearing him talk about, like,
very serious political stuff.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he's on an island.
Competing in challenges. It's
Great.
such a departure.
Yeah, it's not what you would expect.
It makes you wonder, like, why would he do this?
Exactly.
It's not just gossip.
It actually, like, opens up all these bigger questions.
About how we consume information,
Right.
how we use technology,
Yeah.
and the value of unplugging, which is something I think we can all relate to. The article itself is really funny.
Oh, is it?
Like, Lovett's very self-aware.
He knows how this could be perceived.
He's not shying away from the cringe factor at all.
Okay, good.
Good for him.
He talks about how he knew he was in trouble when someone in his tribe,
Like, had a total meltdown.
oh no.
Yeah, and turned on him.
Oh, wow.
And he's even joking about the
He
fact
was.
that he was the first one voted off.
Right.
Like, he kind of saw it coming,
Yeah.
which is funny.
Well, that's good. He can laugh about it.
It's almost like
He's making fun of himself.
before anyone else can.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
calls himself a threat.
But then he says he's not even sure why.
Does he elaborate on that at all?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
But it's funny because it's like,
What are you really a threat in?
right.
Like, are you a threat to win Survivor?
Or a threat to, like,
You know,
be a functional human.
be a functional human being.
Right, when you're trying to build a fire or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what kind of threat are we talking about here?
And that's what I like about him.
He doesn't take himself too seriously.
Right.
He's able to laugh at himself.
Exactly.
And I think that makes his insights
About this whole digital detox thing.
all the more impactful.
Okay.
Because it's like, okay, this guy's not pretending to be perfect.
Maybe there's something real to learn here.
Yeah, he's just like a normal person
Yeah.
who happened to go on Survivor.
Exactly. And this is where it gets interesting.
You mean besides getting a free trip to Fiji?
Well, yeah.
Who wouldn't want to get voted off first?
If it meant you got to hang out in Fiji for a while.
Right, exactly.
But think about it this way.
He had no phone.
No laptop.
Oh, gosh.
No connection to the outside world.
It was like a complete and total digital detox.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Like, how often do we actually get to do that?
I know.
It's like a luxury almost.
A forced luxury in this case.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But still,
And he talks about this in the article.
about how much this time really healed.
His attention span.
Interesting.
Like, he was able
For
to
the present.
and think clearly.
Right, because he wasn't constantly.
Being bombarded with information.
Exactly.
And stimulation.
It's so true, though.
Like, we're so used to.
Being switched on all the time.
Yeah.
Their phones and our laptops. And
Yeah.
it's almost impossible to disconnect.
And it's like our brains aren't even wired for that anymore.
Right. It's true.
Like, we've forgotten how
To
to.
be bored, even.
Yes.
You know?
To be bored.
To be present.
To just sit with our own thoughts.
Exactly.
It's like we've become so averse to that.
It's like when we go.
Constant stimulation.
Right.
And it's exhausting.
Yeah. And he actually uses this great analogy
Oh, yeah.
to describe getting back on his phone.
After Survivor.
Okay.
He said it felt like.
The algorithm was like a drug dealer.
What?
The algorithm was a drug dealer.
Yeah, trying to tempt him back
Okay.
with like the weirdest content imaginable. Oh my gosh, that is such a good analogy because
Yeah.
it's so true.
It is.
Like, you get sucked in
Mhm.
and then you're like scrolling and scrolling.
Yes, and you don't even know.
What you're looking at anymore. It's just like flashing lights and colors
And
and
you're like, how did I get here?
exactly.
Like, I don't even remember.
You're 3 hours deep
Why is it?
initially looking at.
What's
Like,
it-
we've lost all control.
Yeah, and I think
He even mentioned something.
about like a story involving pooking in real estate.
What?
Like, that was the level of like bizarre content
That's amazing.
that the algorithm was feeding him.
Wow.
But it's like,
He's making a really good point here.
it's like these algorithms,
They're designed to grab our attention
and they often do that,
by offering up
increasingly stimulating
honestly.
bizarre content
Yeah, like we need more and more
to get that same.
like dopamine hit.
That's exactly it.
It makes you wonder though.
Like, who's really in control here?
Right.
Is it us,
It's a good question.
or is it the algorithm?
Yeah.
Because it feels like
It's kind of like a slippery slope.
it does.
You know, you start out,
Just wanting to check.
you know, the news or whatever.
Right.
And the next thing you know,
You're watching.
A cat playing the piano.
Oh, yeah.
Wearing a little hat.
I've been there.
Right.
I've been there. It's wild to think he went on Survivor.
Thinking it would be this.
Big traumatic experience.
And, I mean, it was...
But, like, not in the way he expected.
Right.
At all. Like, instead of
yeah.
outwitting, outplaying, and outlasting.
His tribe mates.
Right.
He accidentally stumbled into this...
Whole other thing.
About technology.
It's true.
And how it impacts our lives.
Yeah, it's like he went in...
One kind of drama.
And came out with a whole different kind.
Exactly.
The existential kind.
And the best part is...
He managed to convey all these...
really complex ideas.
Using humor and...
It's super relatable story.
Right, because, I mean...
It's not every day you hear someone...
Compare TikTok to a drug dealer.
Right.
Offering poop-related real estate advice.
Exactly.
But it works.
It really does.
It sticks with you.
Yeah. It's definitely not your typical...
Political commentary.
Exactly. It's a very different side of him.
That's what makes this deep dive so interesting.
You know...
There are always these...
unexpected lessons to be learned.
From the most...
random places.
Who would have thought?
John Lovett on Survivor.
Would have so much to say about.
Digital detox.
Right.
And the impact of technology.
Yeah, exactly.
But it makes you think.
Like, you truly unplugged.
Yeah.
Like, really disconnected.
Just put down the phone.
Stepped away from the screens.
Yeah.
And just like...
existed.
And what did you gain from that experience?
Right. Was it torture?
Or was it like a breath of fresh air?
That's a really good question.
And maybe we don't need to get stranded on a deserted island.
Right.
To reap those benefits.
Exactly. The little digital detox.
Maybe just like...
a weekend getaway.
With a good book.
Now you're talking. All right. We'll wrap up this deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.